Oh, my friends, you are in for a treat. Now, I'm talking to my brother, and we're thinking, we have a little different take on the God, Jesus Christ, eternity, heaven, hell, all that stuff. That's pretty complicated stuff. So, my take is that I am going back to the ancient texts. What was written? What did they say happened? Because to me now, I realize all that stuff was, as far as I'm considering, it's got to be at least considered. Is it valid? Well, a lot of stuff gets changed. A lot of stuff is just complete bull, and that's just the way it is. But if you do enough give and take research, you can come up with some conclusions. Best you're going to do. So, I'm looking back to Exodus, and Velikovsky did a ton of research. It just totally swept under the carpet. I researched him thoroughly, and as far as I'm concerned, he had the best research, broad research over all the different cultures. They had a very similar story. 3,500 years ago, the earth was destroyed. And so I go back to this, and in that area, he says that the Exodus was in that time frame, and the Israelites escaped from Egypt. Not that they were let them go. They said, "Okay, you guys can just leave." No, they escaped during this turmoil. So here I'm going back to the Exodus. Now, when I went to this the other day, it came up saying, "This is offensive. Be careful." Let's see what happens today. It may not do this. This is Syndicato TV. Let's just see. And it's a James Cameron production. I watched quite a bit of this. Very, very, very good. Now let's see what happens. Look, see. It's inappropriate and offensive. This is the Exodus. This is just unbelievable. When this becomes offensive, and the other stuff that you can see is just, oh my God. Well, I understand and I wish to proceed because I'm a reprobate.
Shape for us.
No.
After we returned to the Osmosis Stela and discovered an amazing synchronicity with the biblical text.
Now, this is where I think I was, and this is all related to the biblical texts. And they have gone now and not recreated, but analyzed a lot of the early things that we never realized before. And there's been a lot of scholarly research, and this stuff I applaud. But you have to start to think along the lines that this is real, not that this was just silly. And now I believe they are.
The Bible says that the God of Israel passed judgment on the gods of Egypt.
All right, see, the God of Israel passed judgment on the gods of Egypt. The God, there was conflict. Obviously, there was wars in the heavens. And I'm telling you right now, that stuff that's floating around in space is body parts. I will talk to anybody. There's nobody at NASA, nobody will talk to me about it. And I have the absolute 100% proof. 100%. So they have to come to me. I'm done going to them. I know it sounds all a big shot. Well, let me show you why I can say that. All right, I'm not going to waste your time up here. This is a bundle of muscle, and that is a bundle of tendon. It goes down to the tendon enthesis anchor, and this I did 5-6 years ago. Comet 67P, mysterious features discussed. Life, ? 100% certain. And the molecular chemistry that they did was also 100% certain. And this is what this thing is. This is what it is right here. It's a tendon ball. One of these right here. And this is what it looks like out in space. There it is right there. It's a tendon ball. And there's the molecular signature of it. And here it is cooking off. The gas is which is molecular gases. It's time to start this whole thing over again and start to understand what we got in space. And literally everything you see there is biology. Hello, my wonderful, wonderful friends. It's Roger once again, and it is the new, improved Roger. The less harsh Roger, the more subtle, friendly Roger. But still confused as I have always been. And I'm less hostile, though. And I am trying to understand all of the confusing things that I have studied through my entire life. And I'm pretty old now. I'm 72 years old. And I started studying from the time I could read. I wanted to know what the bottom line was on everything, and it never worked out really well for me, to be perfectly honest with you, because all I was told was just shut up and listen. I said, no, you listen to me. And they said, oh, no, you listen to me. And I fought authority, and authority always won. I've been doing it since a young child. I come out swinging. Anyway, it's now I understand how confusing everything really is. And, you know, you have to put your faith into something. You have to say, look, this is what I believe. Now, how do you get to that point when you can say that? Just because somebody said, here's what you believe, and you say, okay, this is what I'm going to believe, that's it, case closed, I don't care what anybody shows to me. I don't think that's a good approach. I like the Bible. I like the ancient Sumerian texts. The papyruses, Velikovsky's work, absolutely fabulous things that were written that all pile onto each other and relate to a story. And if you don't look at all the facets that accumulate to create this story, then you are literally indoctrinated into a point of view that is locked. Now, I am not that way. I never was that way. I'm still to this day not that way. I thought I had reached a conclusion that Jesus Christ came here from literally God and said, these people are so screwed up, you're going to have to straighten them out. And I don't know whether it didn't work out well for him here, or whether this was the plan to just allow himself to be crucified and show how important it is. I'm so confused now, I got to be honest with you. But everybody, I have 100,000 people that are also confused. And we're all trying to figure this out. Now, I got this about Horus, and it says this is the real story behind Jesus Christ. Now, again, I look at all of the texts. Now, this is by Psychopath Heist. And this goes back 5-6 years ago, and I've been studying this stuff for many years. Velikovsky, when I was a kid, Emanuel Velikovsky wrote a book called Worlds in Collision, where the ancient historians had written up all these events everywhere in the world. They were in papyrus, they were on the walls, they were inscribed in tablets, they were everywhere. And not only on one continent, they were on every continent. The Mayans, the Incas, whoever was there. I don't know who. I'm just spouting off names now. But he went all around the world. All the museums, all the tombs, and it was all there. And they destroyed him because it went against the academic portrayal of our history. Now, who decided that was going to be our history? And was it all strictly transcribed from the Bible? And now we're twisting things around. I just don't know anymore. And this is just going to be a discussion. Because you don't know either. I don't care who tells me, oh, I know this, you're just going to have to believe this. No, absolutely, I don't believe that. Unless I believe it's true, you could present evidence. I presented evidence, 100% evidence, to support there was giants on the earth, no question. There's dragons on earth, no question. The things that they had written in the past, a lot of it seems to be supported. So, and I was told to forget that stuff, and all the way up to yesterday. I mean, for 10 years I've been fighting against everybody, literally my family and everybody in the world, to try to make this understood. This is not silly. And this is not just today or tomorrow. There's an eternity. And they wrote about the kind of things that will get you on one side of this and one side of the other. Now, I had a good discussion with my brother yesterday about God and what would God do? If we're his children, would you put somebody in hell for their whole life? Would you let them burn and suffer for their whole life is eternity? You know, it gets down to some pretty serious discussions when you start getting into this. And I just decided now it's time to have those discussions because I presented the evidence. The evidence supports all the things that were said have some possible validity. Because everything's been moved from here to here and this and that, stretched and pulled. We don't have any idea other than what was carved on the walls of these tombs and things like that. And the Bible is also a document that was developed early in this phase and obviously has some validity in a lot of cases. And I'm finding the things that it says, like Jesus said, they're going to just tell me to shut up and they're going to tell everybody to shut up, which they have. And then one day the rocks will cry out. And they did. And they cried out to me because I got messages. I got a message that said, get up, go out in the woods. There's something calling your name. And that's exactly what I said to my wife. I went out. Eventually I found giants. I went dit, and it came up, these things are for you to see and for others as a test. That's a fact. I'm not lying. That's exactly what happened, and almost nobody passed the test. And I'm sitting here one day thinking, this is just crazy. Nobody's even listening to me. And I hear from behind me, look in Morocco. It was a car commercial. It had nothing to do with Morocco. I said, no, I don't know what's going on. But I looked in Morocco, and boop, boop, there it was, the dragon. If that's not messages, I don't know what is. And there's more to it. There's another one that's just, I don't even want to talk about. Well, there's a couple more that I'm not going to speak about right now. But this is, I think I have been somehow got this stuff dropped on me. I didn't ask for it. I never believed in God, to be perfectly honest. Let me put it this way. I'm a scientist. You can't present evidence to me. Just go away. And when people come and tell me the Earth is flat and there's no space station, come on. This is what really destroyed my research. And I don't want to be nasty to anybody, but please, please, please. It's been 10 years, and that's all they do is laugh, and they say, oh, that guy's a flat Earth person. He just thinks the Earth is flat. No, I don't. I know about the Earth. I understand all this stuff. It's that I was surrounded by people that's all their consideration in life was, to say the Earth was flat. Now, I thought I was being attacked by academia, and I know I was, because every single one of them said, you're a creationist, you people don't even believe in evolution. And I said, I have evidence. I have evidence. I'm not talking about evolution, creation, nothing. I want you to see and tell me, are these things real or not? And I presented them with the DNA and the cancer. Well, they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't look at it. They just refused. And that's Yale and Harvard and Johns Hopkins and every single one of them. 100% across the board. If anybody says, oh, yes, we looked at it and we could prove that it's not true, or we even said it's not true, I'd like to hear from you. Because I contacted you, University of Arizona, every single one of them, every single one across the board, Harvard, Yale, the top to the bottom. I even contacted community colleges. No, absolutely not, because they know that they are in a position that if they stand up for reality in these gods, which there's gods. There was gods. I don't care what you say. There was some form of gods. There was creatures that could do things that we certainly can't do today. And they had abilities that we thought were just like fairy tales. They're not fairy tales. They're all true. Well, no, they're all true. But I can tell you what, I see a lot of things that I can absolutely support with my research. 100%. All right? And if anybody wants to come to me and say, no, Roger, you're just an idiot, come on. That's what I've been begging for. They won't engage. They hide. The academics literally are hiding. And I can tell you right now, they're scared to death of my research. They are trembling. They are trembling in the corners of their little lives because they are nothing more than self-interested people that have no concern for reality. And this is exactly what was written in the past. This is, there'll come a time when you'll be disgraced for speaking the truth. And believe me, I have been disgraced more and demeaned more than any human being alive that I can find. And I'm still sitting here in the woods by myself with my evidence. And it's just a continuous fight all day long of people just attacking me for everything you can think of. And you know, there's a lot of nice people. Yes, absolutely. Wonderful people. Oh, Roger, this is fabulous. But yeah, I agree. But until we can get it accepted, we're just, you know, I don't even know anymore about, I might have not even should have been even talking about this stuff. I don't know. I just don't even know anymore. But I think that the only way to find out all of the intricacies that have popped up. I mean, it's this rabbit hole thing. You start down there, and there's just a bazillion different little shoots that go this way, that way, this way, and then before long you're going in circles and upside down and backwards and forwards, and I'm in all those positions right now, and you will be too if you start thinking. You know, what is your position in life? What do you do? What are you here doing? What are you supposed to do? What's going to get you? What's going to be best for you and best for society in general? Let me put it this way. Right now, it seems to be that everybody is based around self-interest. I always was too. And I still am. You know, I can't deny that. Believe me, if it was me or somebody else, I would go with me. I'm sure. It's just the nature of life, and of all life is self-preservation. Understood. But that has limits. And I see where those limits have been severely breached by some of the most, well, I don't want to go down any bad roads. Let's just say there's been some people that have gone way overboard in their self-interest. And then when I say to myself, because I try to be everybody's advocate. I want to say, what are that guy's thinking? Why does that guy think? Let's take Elon Musk, who seems to be a nice guy. I have nothing wrong with him. And I actually, I'm very impressed with his ability to get all these things done. Absolutely phenomenal, because trust me, that's hard. Now, and he has visions and he has all that stuff, but I also I can't believe he doesn't understand what space is like in Mars and all the life that's out there. I've been trying to get through on that, and I've been trying to get through about the electron flood theory. When somebody doesn't want to hear from somebody, they don't hear from them, and I don't ever get heard from. But what is Elon Musk like? Is he just want to take everything and have all the money and just have everybody at his feet? I don't think so. I think he's looking in his mind, and in my mind too. I think he's creating all kinds of jobs. He's creating, you know, innovative technologies. You know, I would be very, very careful about some of the things because he has such a sway on society that, you know, you can lead it in a good position, you can lead it in a bad position, a bad way. And, it all depends on your point of view. His point of view is that he's leading everything in a good way. I'm sure that's his intention. I don't see any bad intentions from Elon Musk or any of them, to be perfectly honest with you. I do see self-interest in the academic community is that I really honestly do feel sort of disgraceful, that they won't engage in the things that they claim is their mission in life is education. Plus, it's a legal obligation to be an advocate for the student, not for themselves. And they have failed that fiduciary obligation. And as far as I'm concerned, once you're in that system, you've paid them, you have to do what they tell you, or they'll keep your money and fail you in life anyway. So that's intimidation. Peer review is nothing more than racketeering, because they won't allow they won't ever, not one of them will talk to me. And I have the evidence to show. I have DNA, CAT scans, anatomists, chemistry, specimens. So where does that tell you? They won't allow that. To me, that's a suppression of information. That is a systemic racketeering. They call it peer review. And then you have the fiduciary failure. I see it as a criminal organization at this point, but that's my point of view. But that's what I've encountered. Maybe somebody sees it differently. I'd like to hear some comments from educators to say, here's why we won't listen to you. Your DNA, I know why they won't. I don't want to go down that road anymore. I think you other people that are not invested in protecting yourself against reality, which is what they're doing. The academics are protecting their own selves and their reputations and their status and their grant money and their all the things that make them who they are. They're protecting themselves. They're not helping anybody else but themselves. And that's why I was really nasty for a while. But so that's over for me now. I don't care about that anymore. They let them protect themselves. They're going to be seen for what they're doing. And we're going to go through everything. But we really have to start to understand what was our real history. These were gods. They were here. So let's forget about this nonsense where you can't talk about religion in the same day that you're talking about science. It is the same thing. They knew it. We don't know it. Long ago they knew it. Now we're going to get into it and start talking about what it's all about. Maybe you just not interested, and that's fine. And that's what I'm hearing from a lot. Nobody in my family is interested whatsoever. Yeah, no, I don't care about that. What's that to me? Well, if you don't think about it, it's nothing to you. And I haven't found anybody really that wants to investigate it to a point of being able to accept the fact that you have to investigate it. Most everybody is either set in their ways right now, and I'm not going to look at it, I don't care, who cares about that, you're just a crazy person. Or I have no interest, I don't know. I don't know what to think about what people think anymore. So I know I'm rambling on now again, but this is how I'm going to handle this. I'm just going to talk and say, here's how I feel. And I feel confused, very confused. And if you don't feel confused, I'm saying that you're not thinking. Because it is damn confusing. All right, when I say we have to start thinking about gods and here's what Jesus said. Here's something that's very strange. 1945, the end of the World War II, slaughter of the Jews. Then pops out of the caves the Gospel of Thomas in the Nag Hammadi Library, huge collection, like 1,000 different texts, I believe. The Dead Sea Scrolls. All these things just pop out, and they all relate to this. These are the secret sayings of Jesus. This is one of the things that popped out of the ground. And he says, Whoever discovers interpretation of these sayings will not taste death. Jesus said those who seek should not stop seeking until they find. When they find, they will be disturbed as hell. When they are disturbed, they will marvel like crazy and will reign over all. I don't know about that. And after they have reigned, they will rest. Well, apparently, the more you learn, the more likely it is that you're going to have a position of influence. Now, way up here somewhere, 56, was it? Yeah, here it is. Look at this. Jesus said, whoever has come to know the world has discovered a carcass. Exactly what I've been saying. Whoever has discovered the carcass of that person, the world is not worthy. I don't know about that. But then, so now we got a carcass. Now we go up to 80, somewhere around there. 80, is it? Yeah. Jesus said, whoever has come to know the world has discovered the body. The earth is a body. Whoever has discovered the body of that one, the world is not worthy. Now, all I can tell you is it's time to take these things a little more serious. Oh, that's just so silly. The guy's crazy. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. But I'm looking at everything now. And you gotta do some studying. I would look, and I'm going back not just to the Bible and the Nag Hammadi and these things. Read Hesiod, Hesiod, Hesiod. It's the theogony. Him and Ovid, which is Ovid, which is more metamorphosis. How they change people from living things into stone. There's so much that we have to go over, and we're going to do it. I'm just going to start rambling on about the way I'm thinking, because I now know that these things have some validity. Now, the more I talk about it, the more people are going to respond, because I have some other areas to go. I'd love to go into today, but it's just going to start a lot of arguments and fights, and that's the reason I haven't really talked about things that I shouldn't be talking about, because of the venom. So I'm trying to be gentler and kinder, and hoping other people will take that same attitude, because it's been a struggle, my friends, and I love you, and I'm sure whoever God is, He's looking out for us. There's got to be something in control somewhere. You're going to have to be the one that decides who or what or how or when or where. Find out your own answers. But if you don't start looking and you just take somebody else's word for something, well, then it's up to you. Don't take my word for anything. I'm still looking. I have not found what I'm looking for yet. So trust me, I'm going to taste death if I don't keep looking. And I don't want to taste death. If I can help it. I don't know what it tastes like, but I don't think it's going to taste good.